Hi, thank you for joining me today. My name is Anna, and today's class is a short nervous system reset. So I will be showing options with 2 blocks today. If you have blocks, you are welcome to follow along there, but you will be totally fine if you don't as well. So we're going to get started off in a comfortable seated position. I have my hips propped up on a block here, so feel free to use whatever you have around you to come into a comfortable seat. And then once you are there, you can keep your eyes open or softly close them, totally up to you. And begin to feel your pelvis heavy on whatever surface you're sitting on. And now let's take our hands onto our thighs and just begin to gently rub your legs. And that can be in whatever pattern feels nice for you. I'm just going up and down toward my hips, toward my knees. And so sometimes if we get a little bit stuck in this fight or flight, also known as this sympathetic state in our nervous system, it can feel like we begin to lose this connection to our body. You can go up toward your hips if that would feel nice. And so this is just a nice way to kind of bring yourself back into your body, back into the sensations in a really gentle and supportive way. And just take a few more seconds there. And then you can just let your hands and your arms settle. And let's take a couple of breaths here, inhaling through your nose and then exhaling out of pursed lips. And as you keep going there, just feel like with every exhale, that pelvis could get a little bit heavier. You could let your shoulders drop down a little bit more. One more time there. And then just really gently go ahead and come around onto your back. We're going to have the feet flat on the floor. And now take your hands just around to your ribs. So you're just giving yourself like a little hug here. And with the hands on the ribs, we're going to do a couple of breaths that will consist of a 2-part inhale and then a nice long exhale. And so it's an inhale through your nose. Once you're almost full, you just suck in a little bit more air there at the top and then exhale it out. So we'll begin here. Just feel that breath moving out into your ribs. Let's do that 2 more times. And then we'll just return to a normal breath here. You can breathe in and out through your nose if that feels comfortable for you today. And maybe the hands are still on the ribs, maybe not. But if they are, just using the hands as feedback, like you could fill up that space right underneath the hands. And just envisioning every time you inhale that your diaphragm, like an umbrella underneath your ribs, is being pulled down, drawing that air in. Every time you exhale, it's moving back up underneath the ribs. Inhale, it pulls down. Exhale, it lifts back up. And you can just envision that movement of what's happening beneath your hands as your shoulders get a little bit heavier. Your jaw a little bit softer. And nice and easy. Let's move our hands onto the fronts of the thighs so the arms are straight. And just feel your tailbone begin to lengthen towards your heels. Feel the back body sink toward the floor. Start to hug the glutes a little bit, so feel them working, and lift up into a low bridge. So the back ribs are heavy, the glutes are working. Let's just do a little pulse here. So up and down with the glutes. And even with your hands here, you can do a gentle rub, sort of on the outer part of the quadricep muscles. And now just waking up some of these really large supportive muscle groups. It's to help us feel a little bit more steady and a little bit more grounded. Let's take a couple more breaths there. And then we'll hold our bridge this last time. And then nice and easy, nice and slow, start to roll down one vertebra at a time, until your sacrum at the base of your spine is the last to arrive. Nice. So let's go ahead and roll over onto your favorite side. And we'll come up into a quadruped or tabletop position. Your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Let's just go right into a couple rounds of a cat and cow. So inhale, imagine dragging the hands back, pulling the chest forward. Exhale, push the floor away, round your back, lift your ribs. Couple more times, just like that, moving with your breath. And just noticing anywhere where it feels your body is resistant to movement. In place it feels like there's gripping or holding. Not trying to change anything or force anything, but just bringing that awareness in. Now let's come back into just a more neutral quadruped here. We're going to come into downward facing dog. I'm going to have my hands on blocks. You don't need to if you don't have blocks handy. Let's tuck the toes and pike the hips up toward the ceiling. And then once you're here, the front ribs are holding in. We're keeping the armpits lifted, and you can start to pedal out your feet. Maybe bending, alternating knees, can even give your head a little rock from side to side or forward and back. And now imagine that with your breath you could just fill up this space in the back of the rib cage. It's like we're almost spreading like a canvas with the breath there on the back, just opening up any of the tissue there that needs it. And then when you're ready, start to walk the feet forward one at a time here. And slowly rise to stand. Okay, let's take an inhale, bring your arms forward and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Plant the hands. Let's step the right foot back, lower the knee. And if you've got anything going on with the knee here, sometimes it can feel nice to have the block underneath the knee, but that is just an option here. The right glute is working and wrapping down. Now wrap your arms around yourself. You're giving yourself a nice little hug here. We're holding that pelvis steady, and then let's just start to do a gentle rock. Keeping the breath going, breathing out into the ribs, out into the hands. It's like we're just gently coaxing this nervous system to bring us more into this parasympathetic, more of this rest and digest state. And from here, we'll bring the right hand down either to the floor or a block. If you had that block underneath your knee, you can go ahead and slide it out. So the right hand is underneath the shoulder. Rotate your sternum and your chest to the left without dipping this right shoulder forward. And then you can place your left hand on the left side of your ribs. Release your right ear toward your shoulder, and then breathe up into that left hand. Filling up all of that space in the ribs here. Now bring your left hand down next to your right. We're going to come into a side lunge. So parallel your feet, your hands can stay where they are. Now sit back into your right hip crease, and you can do a little pulse here. And it almost feels like you're arcing up and over toward the left there with your ribs as you pulse back into that right hip. Maybe even letting your head rest on that left bicep. Beautiful. Walk your hands now around to the front again here. Hands can be on blocks, and we'll step the right foot up next to the left. Rise to stand. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Plant your hands, step your left foot back. Can lower the knee, always that option to have it on the block again. Now same thing, coming up, wrapping that left glute down, feel a little work there. And then wrapping the hands around the ribs. Just gently rocking side to side. And just letting your body, letting your nervous system know you're safe. I've got you. One more breath there. And then the left hand comes down, either floor or block. can slide that block out from underneath your knee if it was there. And then without that left shoulder dipping forward, turn your chest and your sternum to the right. The right hand can come to the right side of the rib cage. Left ear can come toward the shoulder. And then breathe into this right hand. Now bring your right hand next to the left. Parallel the feet for a side lunge, sitting back into the left hip crease. So the fingers are over toward that right foot. You could pulse back into that left hip as you think about arcing the ribs up and over toward the right. Just really working not only into the inner thighs here, but into that whole side seam. Maybe letting your head rest on that right bicep. That's it. That will turn back around to the front, step the feet together, and we'll come around to a seat. You are welcome to elevate your hips again on something. Just find any comfortable position here. And then let's take our fingers to the scalp and just do a little, give yourself like a little scalp massage here. So you can just work around the entire scalp and just notice if there are any places that feel a little bit tender or restricted. Once again, we aren't trying to be aggressive or forceful. You're just coaxing any of the tension, any of that rigidity. And then you can let your hands come back down. And then let your left ear come toward your left shoulder. And you can stay right there if that feels nice, or very gently do a little rock here. Slightly up, slightly down. Over and over, we are just sending these messages to our nervous system. It's like, thank you for the work that you do for me. Thank you for keeping me safe in all of the ways that you do. And now, right, we allow you to soften a bit. Feel a little bit more ease, a little more rest. You can bring your left hand to the side of your head. Really easy. Lift your head back up. And right ear can come over a bit toward your right shoulder. Either staying there or just that gentle rock. The right hand can come to the side of your head. And gently lift that head back up. Now, if it feels comfortable for you, you can take your hands and just place them on your sternum. Now, feeling that breath in your lungs. And feeling any differences. That maybe there's a little more ease, a little more softness. Maybe you feel a little bit more in your body, if you will. Know that whatever it is that you are feeling, that you are experiencing, is very real, and that with compassion and curiosity and practice, we can continue to cultivate this feeling of safety and support within ourselves that is available for us to tap into anytime we need it. Know that I am proud of you for showing up today, for listening to your own needs, for taking care of yourself. And always know that this class is here for you whenever you need it. So when you are ready, and blink your eyes open if they were closed. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Hope you feel a little bit more. I know I definitely do. So appreciate you coming today, and I can't wait to see you again next time.